Hello, welcome to the Balance Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Karen Truesdale Bierman, and I have a very exciting guest today, Pamela. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Karen. Appreciate you having me on your podcast.
Welcome. So I guess just to get started, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you are trained in hypnosis, which is one of the interesting things about you, why I wanted to interview you. So tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Yeah, I can tell a little bit about myself. My name is Pamela Meyer. I live in Calgary, Alberta, in Canada. So it's cold and snowy where we are at right now. And I did train in hypnosis. I actually, the way I got interested in it was through my own personal life story or life events. I kind of came through this time in my life where everything just kind of melted down around me. I hadn't been really living in integrity, and things kind of all came to a head. So I felt a lot of anxiety, needless to say, throughout that time and that transition. And I knew I wasn't being very present with my family, especially my young kids. I have a son, he's 11 now, and my daughter is 8. So with kids that age, you don't get that time back, right? As you know, as a mom. So I was very conscious of that and wanting to get myself help, get myself out of the rut that I was in. And for me, the path that worked, that was really effective, was through clinical hypnotherapy. It was just like the acknowledgement of I'm stuck and I don't want to be, and then the wanting of that change, and then the clinical hypnotherapy just creating that little bit of space for me to get my mind onto a new pathway, new way of thinking. And I trained in Calgary under a registered clinical hypnotherapist with ARCH, which is the Association of Registered Clinical Hypnotherapists up here in Canada. So yeah, it was since then I've been finding it a great opportunity to connect and kind of be of service, help other women, especially who are going through any major life event, any major thing where they really just need a little extra help.
Right. Yeah, there's so many tools out there, but I think hypnosis is very intriguing. And I'm familiar with some of your work. So how do you balance it all? Because you work full time, you have a family.
Yeah, it's balance. So balance sounds easy. It's one of those things that rolls off the tongue easy. Like, oh yeah, you just need to be balanced in life. And I really believe that. I think life is this journey we're on, and it's all about trying to find or come back to that balanced way of being, that if we're centered within ourselves, we know who we are, we know what things we're trying to achieve and put out there in the world. But it's not as easy in application as I think as
absolutely not. It's a whole topic.
As a mom and entrepreneur, it can be really challenging to try to keep all the things in balance, right? Like you have your family, you don't want to have them overscheduled in activities, but you don't want to have them sitting at home and relying on technology. You want to work and have good living and have opportunities for yourself and your children, but you don't want to be owned by your work or the almighty dollar. You want
capitalism.
Right? It's such, there's so many areas of our life. This year I was thinking my balance was really going to be trying to work on more physical fitness and incorporating health and that into my routine. And I do go skiing with my family, which I count that as fitness, but my regular consistent trips to the gym haven't unfolded the way I'd hoped. It's like all of these, and work has been consuming more of my time than I thought it would. So always those things, trying to rebalance. It's tricky.
Yeah, skiing is a good workout.
Yeah, I think
for sure, but that's not really daily.
No, it's more of a weekend warrior thing. So
yeah. Oh, that was a phone.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh no,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and I play tennis. I play competitive tennis, but then there's times when it's rainy or snowy. I mean, we pretty much play around in Texas, but then I'm like, okay, I need to walk or do yoga or Pilates. I need to do something different.
Yeah. And then also as a mom, that fitness time seems like time away from your kids, which is challenging too, because you spend so much time working, which is time away from your kids. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, no, I also need to be physically fit, which is obviously the best thing
which
for
is a
us.
gift to your children.
Yeah, it is best for us and for them. I mean, we'll be around longer and able to see their grandkids,
Mhm.
be at special family events, but it's still time
Yeah.
away. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of support do you receive? I guess as a mom, as an entrepreneur, a
Yeah, well,
working mom, what kind of group?
I mean, I have a really amazing and loving, supportive partner. My
Mhm.
husband is like just so amazing with our kids and really engaged in family life, so that helps a lot. He does all roles around the house. He will wash dishes, he will help cook, he will
Oh,
clean. So,
wonderful.
yeah, so I have an amazing support that lives with me and who is really dedicated to my kids. I'm
Mhm.
also really blessed to have my 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 parents separated, so we have two sets of grandparents. They both remarried, so we have two sets
Oh,
of grandparents on my
okay.
side and a very dedicated set of grandparents on my husband's side. So really three sets of grandparents, and they all love
Mhm.
to spoil the kids in different ways. Some of them, shop for clothes for them. Some of them love to
Mhm.
spend quality time or take them on outings. And
Mhm.
then we have the one, my in-laws are in Calgary and will watch the kids for us if we want to go.
Okay. If you want to spend some time with your husband.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Do you have any tips for our audience on balance?
So
What works for you?
okay, well, I can tell you that if you are trying to first identify if you have a balanced life, your
Mhm.
emotions and your body can tell you a lot about that. So if you
Mhm.
find you're not able to sleep at night, if you find you're just exhausted going through your day and maybe you fall asleep on the couch before you even make it to bed, well, they're all signs that you might not be, some aspect of your life may be out of balance,
Mhm.
and trying to think about how you can bring that back. I try to be intentional. I think that's an overused word lately, but I try to be intentional about what am I trying to work on in this given year and not literally not do it all. Like you cannot do everything
You have to
all at
pick
the
a few
same
things to
time.
focus on.
Right? Like, so
Yeah.
like if it's the year of health for you, then try to do that. If it's the year of like,
Mhm.
career pursuits or, upgrading your skills or your financial success, then do that.
Mhm.
If it's a year of family or, things are coming up that you just need to be there to support, be
Mhm.
okay with pulling back a little bit from the work. If you have that luxury, you
Mhm.
have that ability, be able to pull back and just be there for your family.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, 2022 has been a year of health and family for me and pulling back a little bit. I mean, and I have it's interesting as I reflect because I became an entrepreneur when I had my oldest, and now he's 18 and getting looking at colleges. You
Wow.
know, I mean, and it's gone
That's
full circle. And then
fascinating.
now there's aspects of running a business that are so exhausting and energy draining that I'd rather delegate those and just be patience.
Yes, we have to find
Yeah.
what works for us. That's a really good
Yeah,
tip too.
because
Find,
it changes.
yeah,
At least
and
for
find,
me, it's always changing.
yeah, it's not something that's like set it and forget it. It isn't. It's like
Right.
you have to find what works for you. How it's like that constant, I think life is a constant quest for balance. I think that's what I believe about
Oh,
the
that's
topic,
a good, I
right?
like that.
Yeah.
Mm,
So we're
excellent.
always on this quest and we're always trying to find that balance that's going to be right for us in the moment.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having
Mhm.
me. It was always lovely to chat with you, Karen. I admire all that you do in your work and your home life. I know you do all the home life, and I have three kids, which is one whole kid more than me. And I know you don't have a partner living with you that helps to support in that way. So I know it's
But
something
I will say my oldest, my 18-year-old, he does a lot for me.
that
And I know I'll have to adjust when he goes to college. And
yeah,
then my
absolutely.
15-year-old me, well, then he should be driving by then. But yeah, and I have a good support network, but
Oh, that's so good.
yeah.
I'm always in awe of those women who do it all. That's really incredible.
Oh, well, I'm gonna let you know, like, nobody does it all. Like, no, like, that's the myth of everything, but I will say, and I've been reflecting this weekend. Yesterday, I started sewing doll clothes for my daughter, and I'm not a seamstress, but like the Barbie size, the little size, and then I taught my nephew and my daughter how to sew, like quilt squares together.
So
And
cool.
my mother worked very hard to raise me to be independent. And then I said I wasn't really raised to be a homemaker. I was raised to be a breadwinner, and thank God I'm a breadwinner because I would have a home as my life has unfolded. Um,
True that. Yeah, it's good. That my mom had the same message, right?
yeah.
She said you need to be independent. You can't rely on anybody for anything. She's like, you just don't know. You don't know what will
Well, yeah,
happen.
you never know. But then also, I've also learned a lot this year. I need to ask for help or receive help. I mean, I can't do everything. But
Good. That's a good lesson on balance, right? And
yeah,
letting help in. It
yeah,
is there. We just have
receiving.
to
Yeah,
ask. Yeah,
yeah. All right. Well,
absolutely.
thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Karen.